In pop culture, the phrase, "we live in a society" was first mentioned in Seinfeld in 1991.
You know, we're living in a society. We're supposed to act in a civilized way.
But it was mostly popularized by Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in the 2008 film The Dark Knight. However, to understand the context behind these memes, we can look at a trend as old as time and often used in boomer comics. People have always loved to talk about how society is degenerating into shallow idiots. A lot of comics made by older people show newer, younger generations foregoing books and getting into their phones, or comics about how hot people get more attention than talented, plain people. This trend has been occurring for centuries. Even in the 19th century, people used to complain how fiction novels would ruin your brain, much like how people complain young people spend too much time online now. Of course, this may be true for some people, but the majority of young people are not so absorbed in technology that they have become shallow, dumb idiots. And as a result, the argument that we live in a society where phones or looks are more important than books may be true in some cases, but ultimately is a tired and played out idea. So you can understand why when a popular movie villain begins to criticize society, some people might repeat that argument to air their own grievances to the point of nausea, leading to a meme that satirizes those who think the Joker perfectly represents their own life.
I'm the Joker, baby!
After the Dark Knight film came out in 2008, some people started almost worshipping the Joker. Usually these types of people would have a profile picture with the Joker on it and would quote or misquote lines from the Joker, but would in no way, shape or form actually represent the intelligent and insidiously evil man in real life. This connection has to do with identifying as a social outcast. Without comprehensively getting into the modern Joker's backstory, he is essentially a character that has been driven to villainy by the uncivilized society he lives in. At least that's the modern retelling of the Joker story. Which is why you might often see a character such as Ross from Friends with the Joker's makeup superimposed onto them as a meme. It represents the idea that anyone can become the Joker if they're pushed far enough. Like the current internet climate, the Joker represents chaos, anarchy, and a healthy dose of nihilism. And everyone fears the Joker because he's nuts, but it's also implied that he's incredibly intelligent, leading to his appeal to people who believe themselves to be above average intelligence. This is why one of the first examples of a nice guy Joker meme being posted on mainstream meme website 9gag in 2015 was so laughable. A misspelling of patience coupled with the implication that a nice guy can make the devil shiver is just so tacky. One of the earliest known connections between nice guys, the Joker, and gamers was on May 2nd, 2017, when an anonymous user posted this image to 4chan. Often, these nice guys may be the same ones who complained about being friend-zoned all the time, or how girls always go for bad boys instead of nice guys, forgetting the contradiction in that statement that by generalizing all women as jerks, you aren't being very nice yourself. Thus, these self-proclaimed nice guys often sympathize with the Joker as a villain that is misunderstood by society and smarter than everyone else, which is why you'll often see satirical "we live in a society where nice guys get friend-zone" memes with the Joker making a front-page appearance. Often these memes will reference Chad and Veronica, Chad being a label for popular guys who are easily able to interact with women, or in other words, you know him as a normie. This is where we come into the gamers rise up part of the meme. The same self-professed nice guys who relate to the Joker can sometimes channel this energy into being jerks about video games. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe liking video games makes you a jerk or weird. Anti-game hysteria peaked in the 90s when video games were considered the work of the devil and responsible for all violent crimes. But times have more or less changed, and video games have become a massive part of the mainstream entertainment industry. However, some of that anti-video game hysteria has persisted. Even President Trump infamously suggested video games might be to blame for a mass shooting in El Paso this year.
We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace.
Even after many academic studies have proved time and time again that video games are no unhealthier than movies, songs, or any other type of common entertainment. As a result, some gamers understandably still have a chip on their shoulder about being targeted for liking video games. That chip can lead to gamers being fiercely loyal of their favorite medium, but can sometimes take that loyalty too far. This is why such a large part of the "we live in a society" meme revolves around the phrase "gamers rise up," as there are large portions of gamers who mobilize online to fix an issue concerning the industry. Sometimes this can be a positive motion, such as minimizing the presence of pay-to-win mechanics or loot boxes, but sometimes it can be kinda nuts when some people believe reducing the breast size of Tifa in the Final Fantasy VII Remake is worth getting irrationally angry about, or sending rape and death threats to women in the video game industry like what happened in the 2014 Gamergate controversy. No one deserves that shit, no matter how far you spin it. Another facet of the We Live in a Society meme is the gangweed meme. And again, although I've already covered it in a video, which I'll link in the description below, I believe it's worth covering lightly here just so you can have some context. Essentially, the gangweed aspect of We Live in a Society meme exists to parody meme pages or groups that insist on plastering their logo all over their memes. It could be argued that the trend began around 2016 on the internet toilet of 8chan, where shitposters ironically pretended to be making posts on behalf of the Nazbol gang, meaning Nationalist Bolshevik, a fascist political party. Given the revolutionary aspects of this political meme, it is no surprise We Live in a Society also combines with Gamers Rise Up. The Nazbol trend eventually died out, but gave rise to the gangweed memes, which surged in popularity due to a Facebook page created in January 2018 that has since been removed, called Gangweed. However, a secondary page has been created called Gangweed 2 that covers all aspects of the meme, so you can check that out still. Gangweed simply refers to being gangster and smoking marijuana. Two things that people tend to idolize on the internet as hip and edgy, but the same people who idolize them often do not partake in aspects of either culture, which has spawned these ironic memes. Being a placeholder text in meme generation, bottom text represents a poorly made meme by someone who forgot to put something in, well, the bottom text. Back in 2009, or 2007, 2008, to about 2012, when memes were far more structured with a top text setup and a bottom text punchline, you could make memes with meme generator sites. The resulting years of overly saturated, poorly made memes led to ironic memes that intentionally included the words bottom text in them to parody bad meme making. In the context of We Live in a Society, it could also be argued that bottom text visually represents how fake deep and poorly thought out an idea or argument is. An example of something that's fake deep or pseudo-intellectual would be like when you're 15 years old and think about viruses in biology at school, and then say, hang on, if viruses live on the human body and destroy it, and humans live on the earth and destroy it, then it's like, we are the virus, man! In the instance of a bottom text meme, you might also expect to find an ironic comment such as, "This says a lot about society," which parodies real-life memes that try to make some sort of surface-level commentary and make something look deeper than it really is. In conclusion, bottom text, gangweed, Gamers Rise Up, Nice Guys, the Joker, and society may be a little difficult to understand as memes unless you've been trolling the internet memescape for a number of years. But perhaps the most interesting thing about the movie that just recently came out is the controversy it managed to drum up. Some critics were saying the movie would become a piece of media that far-right white supremacists would relate to, but its message is very different from that. If you can take anything away from this meme or the latest Joker movie, it's that the Joker is an incredible vehicle for criticizing a lot of the issues we have in our society, such as mental health stigma, poverty, and inequality, and as a result, it makes sense that meme artists would capitalize on this and spread the good word. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
And remember, like and subscribe! Or else.